Hello everyone. I am Alice of KHR Arts and Cloud Orchid Publishing, and today we are going to talk about blogging sites such as Vocal and Medium and how important are they to work on as an author anyway. First and foremost, I do want to say that I am actively on Vocal. You can follow my blog posts on there via the link in the description of this video. The reason why I picked Vocal over Medium or any of the other options that are of this same variety is specifically because Neil Litherland is also on Vocal, and he's the one that introduced me to this particular site. And as I've said in the past with some of my other works, it's honestly just easier when making that choice if you have somebody who has prior experience in something to just follow the same path as them so that you have a built-in support system. So I'm going to be talking largely about Vocal in this video, but I will talk a little bit about Medium, as well as keep in mind that there are other options out there. So first and foremost, what exactly are these blogging sites and why are they important to know about? So what these blogging sites are is where you sign up and have an account on, let's say, Vocal, and you write blog posts, so about whatever you want, whatever subject you want. You can also feature short stories, poetry, journal entries, whatever type of writing you want to feature on there, you can publish on there. And you are paid for these blog posts. Now, it is important to remember that you are paid via how many reads you get on the blog post. So you have to have people physically actually click on the link and scroll through and read your blog post in order for you to make money. On Vocal, you make 1 penny per read, per blog post. So given that, you can be making literally pennies, or you can be making a decent chunk of money each month writing these blog posts. The good thing is that they are up there forever, so you get reads from whatever you posted yesterday, and even whatever you posted a year ago, 5 years ago, whatever, it doesn't matter. If it's still getting reads, you're still getting paid, which is really nice. However, it is definitely one of those systems where it is a quantity game, where you really need to have a big database of blog posts, and you need to continually be writing new blog posts to keep your blog fresh in order to really make any sort of significant money. Now, I know that there are articles out there that will tell you that you can make $1,000, $5,000, whatever a month doing these things, and I just want to take that misconception and throw it out the window, because while yes, it is possible for you to make that kind of money on these sites, chances are you are not going to. So we're just going to be open and honest about that right up front. You are probably not going to make $1,000 a month doing these blog post things. Now you may ask, why right off the bat am I just scratching that off the possibility list? Well, the fact of the matter is that only the 1% of people on these blog sites actually make that kind of money. And those very few people that do make that kind of money on these blog sites, it's because they are hiring ghostwriters to write hundreds of blog posts for them on a regular basis to feature on these accounts. So the fact is that most of them are not writing these blog posts themselves. They're paying other people to do it. Or even if they are somehow doing these themselves, they are writing literally hundreds of blog posts. Their database of blog posts is absolutely crazy, and the number of blog posts they're churning out every day is massive. This is pretty much their full-time job. It's all they do, and they have mastered it, as well as they're making sure that they are only writing clickbait and ultra popular posts that they know are going to get the most reads possible. So we're really talking about quantity and popularity schlock over any sort of quality or information. Now, with that being said, don't be discouraged. While yeah, you're not going to make the big bucks doing this, and you're not about to quit your day job doing this, you can still make a decent amount of money. Neil Litherland makes utility money doing this. He can make a couple $100 a month doing this. I myself don't really make significant money doing this yet, but I will be honest, I am not regular with creating blog posts for Vocal right now. It's just a low priority for me. It's when I have the time, I throw a blog post up there and I see the literal pennies moving in each month. And that's the beauty of it, is that you can build it up as quickly or as slowly as you're willing or able. And the fact that it does not go away, that these do not expire, that there's not some sort of time limit you have to adhere to, there's not some sort of quota you have to meet in order for your account to be active and still making money, that I have literally written a handful of blog posts up there and I still churn out money regardless of whether or not I post a new blog post on there each month. So that's important to keep in mind, that you can even have it where you get a certain database built up and then you can just let it sit there and churn. You're not going to make as much money as you would by keeping it active and continually writing on it, but you'll still make something. So I highly suggest things like Vocal and Medium as good passive income. So something that you can have going in the background and you can throw things at it to keep it churning. But I definitely don't recommend going the 100% gung-ho and thinking that this is going to be your full-time job that's going to replace your current full-time job. It's also important to note that a lot of times these monthly amounts that people are earning on Vocal and Medium are also inflated by contests. Now, what these writing sites both do is that they have contests available, and what that means is that whether it's each week or each month, whatever the time period is, they oftentimes have multiple contests going on at the same time that you can apply for, and they will have some sort of theme or prompt. Some of them are short stories, some of them are like informative blog posts, whatever. They always have some sort of instructions and theme, and then you write it and you submit it, and it is a literal contest, y'all. So there can only be one first place prize, and depending on if it's a tiered system, it'll sometimes be first place, second place, and third place, and it'll be tiered with the top prize and then less money for second and then less money for third. So again, you can earn a good chunk of money a month if you are participating in these contests and if you're actually winning them. That's the key thing to remember here, is that just because you're entering the contest does not mean that you're going to win. That is not guaranteed money. It is a contest. So keep that in mind, that it is a good idea to participate in these contests, but do not by any means count your chickens before they hatch and think that you're necessarily going to win and that that money is going to be in your pocket. Now, some of you may ask, what is the difference between Vocal and Medium, and what are the other options that are out there? Well, with Vocal, I'm personally on Vocal, and it has its strong points and it has its problems, just like any social media site or any monetization site. One of the problems being that I know that Vocal has changed ownership, and that this has impacted the contests as well as it has impacted some of the mechanics of the algorithms with getting your blog posts seen and other various technical things that will unfortunately impact how much money you can make. Now, this may deter some people, but that is saying that all websites are going to have these kind of problems, and change in ownership can happen at any time with any site. So it's always important to keep that in mind, that just because one site has problems doesn't necessarily mean the other one doesn't. I can't personally talk to what the benefits or cons are for Medium versus Vocal because I have not used Medium. I don't really know a lot about Medium. However, I do know just from seeing the posts that I see on Twitter about Medium that there is a lot of drama on Medium, as well as there is a lot of the click behavior on Medium in terms of like high school clicks, that certain genres of blogs or certain genres of short stories are treated as better or more legitimate than others, and I have not experienced that kind of behavior on Vocal. So keep that in mind. I've heard many success stories with Medium, I've heard many success stories with Vocal. At the end of the day, it's really all about how you use it and what your intent for it is. My biggest advice would be to definitely treat it as passive income that you earn in the background, and to not have grand expectations with how much money you're going to earn doing it. That I highly suggest that it's just something that you throw up there on a regular basis, keep it churning, and then just be glad for whatever coins fall out. And then that's your windfall for the month. Maybe it's your, extra shopping money. Maybe it's your extra going out to dinner money, whatever. But I definitely would not count on it as being like regular paying bills money until you're able to build up a really solid database. And I'm talking hundreds of blog posts, and you're dedicated to making sure that you keep it updated on the regular in order to keep that churn going. And some of you may be thinking, well, if this is based on reads, aka you earn money via how many reads each blog post gets, how do I get those reads? Well, the short of the answer is that you have to go out and get the readers yourself. The easiest way to do that is by posting on various social media sites. Neil Litherland has a lot of success with working around the bots on Reddit and being able to do some backdoor sort of posting of his articles on Reddit. Unfortunately, Reddit's bots do have an auto wipe feature in that if you post a direct link to Vocal on Reddit, your thread will automatically get shut down. Your comment will automatically be locked and deleted. It's basically because people have spammed Reddit to death in order to try and get their blog posts seen, so they created bots to shut that down. So instead, he does it where he'll post it on Twitter, and then he will post the Twitter link on Reddit in order to get that Vocal post seen. So it is extra clicks, which means that you're not getting as much engagement as you could as a direct link, but these are some of the things that you sometimes have to work with, as a lot of social media sites are becoming more and more strict on what you're allowed to post and on a lot of their unreasonable expectations, as well as the growing problem of being shadow banned. So keep all that in mind when growing your engagement, that sometimes you're going to have to do some backdoor stuff and get a little bit creative with how you post about your Vocal blog posts in order to get things seen. And I imagine things are about the same for Medium as well, that it's another monetized blog, and that on some sites that is going to be seen as spam. All in all, another big way to be able to get people to read your blog posts is by having your own personal blog as well, and having those blog post links in your own blog directly. So it's basically kind of like having to have two blogs at the same time in order to get your monetized blog chugging. It's kind of a pain, but you do what you gotta do. Last but not least, of course, is the old-fashioned building a mailing list, building that week in review sort of update and all that stuff, and putting your links in there and having the people that are already subscribed to wanting to read your stuff, getting all of those new blog posts seen by your audience. So keeping all of that in mind, it's also all about getting creative with getting those blog posts in front of people and actually getting those reads. And again, make sure you're adjusting your expectations, that you are not going to get a landslide of reads on most of your blog posts, that it is going to be an uphill battle, especially, as I said, with all of the algorithms now pushing against things like this, and even the ever likely risk of getting shadow banned. The most important advice that I can give in terms of how exactly to get started with all of this is sit and think about what is the type of content that you would want to write, that is content that you're going to be motivated to actually create on a regular basis, and that you can actually keep up with. So keeping all of that in mind, Neil, he writes a lot of gaming stuff, specifically with Pathfinder and Werewolf and Vampire of the Masquerade, and with Warhammer. So that's his niche. He writes a lot of stuff with tabletop gaming sort of stuff, and that's what the bulk of his posts are about, and that's how he builds his readership. With me, I'm a little more all over the place. It's kind of slice of life along with health and wellness living. I haven't really found what exactly it is that I specifically want to churn out yet. But again, as I said, I treat this as a very passive income, where it's whenever I have the time and I have the idea, I write a blog post and I throw it up there and I see how well it does. So I'm still on my discovery journey with it. And I have a lot of other projects that I just consider a higher priority. So again, it's all about the level of priority that you want to assign to it and how much work you want to actually do with it. So I hope this has been helpful. I want to thank y'all so much for watching. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a like. And if you're new, subscribe. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.